talk about the Super Bowl of all heist. And this is a story at NBC News. So for those of you in Alabama, by the way, anybody watch the Super Bowl anymore? I don't. It's so damn predictable. It's so predictable. It's always a 49ers or some big team that's won 5 times before. They have the scripted ceremony where they come out with a big trophy. They have all these crazy commercials, and they always seem to go into overtime. You ever notice that? I don't think I've ever watched one Super Bowl game where they've stayed within the clock. But for those of you in Alabama, shout out to everybody who's watching, subscribing in Alabama. Thank you for being a part of this thing called the Culture Confederacy. If you've been wondering why your favorite radio station, WJLX, is no longer on the air, here's why. Story at NBC News. Now, I caught this over the weekend. This came out February 8th. Saw this while I was doing the overnight shifts at work on my downtime. But you can also go to Yahoo News, so it's Yahoo News, NBC. Alabama station in disbelief after 200-foot radio tower stolen. Story by Catherine Ito, last name I-T-O-H. A radio station in Alabama was forced to go silent after thieves stole its 200-foot radio tower and other equipment from a building. How the hell do you steal a 200-foot radio tower? A 200-foot radio tower without anybody noticing? The station, WJLX, sent a landscaping crew to the site Friday morning for spring cleaning, only to find the 200-foot radio tower was gone. When a crew member called the station's general manager to break the news, he was in disbelief. Quote, "What do you mean the tower is gone? Are you sure you're in the right place?" But I actually used more colorful words than that. Oh, I bet. This according to Brett Elmore, who talked to NBC News. We're talking about millions of dollars worth of equipment here. He said there's wires all over the ground and the tower is gone, talking about the person who told him that this tower had been stolen. Not only was a radio tower stolen, but a nearby building was also vandalized. When Elmore heard the door was left ajar, that's when reality was starting to set in that something bad had happened. Quote, unquote. There was a meeting yesterday between the owner and our investigators concerning the matter. Jasper Mayor David O'Mary told NBC News on Thursday. At this point, we are still lacking information that we have to conduct a full-fledged investigation. WJLX notified the Federal Communications Commission that its AM station was silent. The station was hoping to continue broadcasting its program through FM radio in the meantime. Now, sometimes you have these stations, especially in the South, in certain markets, that will simulcast AM and FM. Now, when I was growing up, one of the first mediums I fell in love with was radio. Always fascinated by radio. What's this box with his voice coming through it? Theater of the mind. What was really cool is if you live in the South, late at night, especially if you're listening to AM radio, you can pick up radio stations. Let's say if you're in Florida, you can pick up a radio station faintly in Alabama, possibly North Carolina, Georgia. Because AM radio works differently than FM. With AM radio, it's amplitude modulation. With FM, it's frequency modulation. Best way to describe it. AM radio, amplitude modulation, hills and valleys. That's how the sound travels with amplitude modulation. Whereas with FM, frequency modulation, it's like a pebble in a pond. You throw a pebble in a pond, and it creates these waves that go out. That's how FM radio works. It's pretty cool, actually. Now, Elmore told NBC that he requested a temporary authority to keep the FM transmitter on until we get the AM back on the air. But unfortunately, this morning, I was notified by the FCC that they had denied our request to stay on air on the FM side, so actually we're about to go power down the transmitter. Despite the setbacks, Elmore has faith WJLX will bounce back. So if any of you out there see a radio tower, 200-foot radio tower in somebody's backyard, let me know in the comment section below. Doing my civic duty here. Let's get WJLX back on the air. Quote, unfortunately, the site was not insured. We're a small market station, but we're going to get back. We're going to get back on the air as soon as we possibly can, Elmore said. So story for you at NBC News. Quick video today. Story, like I said, NBC News by way of Yahoo. A 200-foot radio tower has been stolen in Alabama. WJLX. Let me know in the comment section below if you've seen that 200-foot radio tower in somebody's backyard. Let's get this station back on the air. Let's protect free speech, protect AM radio. Radio's great. It's a great medium, especially shortwave radio. That's a really neat hobby if you haven't checked out shortwave radio. In fact, I own a shortwave radio. You get like 10 or 12 bands on the sucker. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, you know what to do. You can find me at Instagram, #JasonComposes, because I write music in my spare time. Or go to X, Culture Confederacy, at CultureConfed1 on X. This is the Culture Confederacy saying peace out, stay safe, everybody. God bless this thing called the United States. And you know how we do it here. This is where the past crashes with the present. I'll catch you next time, and you all have a great Monday.